Looking for unique and captivating pottery for your home decorations? Look no further than Warehouse Creation. This local business here in Rome makes fun pieces of pottery like this wizard piece right here, and they can make multiple pieces like simple pieces, complementary pieces, functional pieces, and everything for your home decorations. So if you want to find out more, check out their YouTube channel, their Facebook, their Instagram, and check out their website. And thank you again. Back to the episode.
Welcome back to the Preferred Podcast. I'm your host, Eddie, here with my esteemed guests.
Grant Garrett.
And Grady Smith.
All right, on today's podcast, we're going to shift the tone a little bit. We're going to move on from our old topics and move on to something different. Since we've all recently gotten into the sport of boxing, but more specifically, we're going to talk about combat sports in general. So, that being said,
MMA.
Between MMA and boxing, what do you prefer?
MMA.
MMA. I'm a boxing guy.
I did boxing longer, but I prefer MMA.
You couldn't pay me to do MMA. Like those aren't fighters; those are killers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing that. But between MMA, like, who are your favorite fighters?
Okay, I know that he's gonna look at me like I'm crazy, and I'm not gonna try to defend.
Like
the bro's like the best fighter there is, but Sean Strickland.
I know you're gonna say something like
Sean Strickland.
I mean, he is.
He's legit, like, just his story, everything. Like, I love Sean Strickland. He's my favorite. Like, I know everyone says Connor and stuff, but Sean Strickland. So, yeah.
Especially like outside the cage, he's really real.
Mm-hmm.
He's really,
he doesn't hide his emotions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's an awesome dude.
Mm-hmm. He keeps it $150 with everyone.
Yeah, it is so funny to see him.
Just say whatever.
just say whatever's on his mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And who's your favorite fighter?
Tony Ferguson.
Tony Ferguson.
He's in my top. I love Tony.
My poor boy.
El Kukui.
He's not doing so well right now.
Yeah, it's sad that he's falling apart, but he's just an amazing fighter.
Mm-hmm. Bro has, like, you can't stop him and he doesn't want to quit, and El Kukui doesn't want to quit. So and that's what makes him, like, on top tier.
Yeah.
Well, in the past year, what have been your favorite fights in the UFC?
Because the way the memories was of the card, the one that just happened, the 293, UFC 293, Izzy versus Strickland, that was crazy. So I gotta say, Izzy versus Strickland's probably my favorite MMA fight that there's been. Mm-hmm. But other than that, like, just the way that, like, the vibe was, 297 was just, like, awesome. Because we went over to his house and we just, like, all watched it together. It was a great time.
Like, after round 3, we're all just, like, standing up.
Huddling around each other.
Over, like, screaming at stuff for Strickland to do, even though he's not going to hear anything. Like, we're like, just jab him, just keep on those jabs, aim for the eye. It's already swollen up. That's all you got to do. Close that eye. Mm-hmm. We were giving him tips and stuff. It was awesome.
It was
really
awesome.
Fun.
Buy tickets next time. Be right on the outside. Yell at him.
Yeah, for real, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And then for boxing, though, Muhammad Ali.
That's your favorite boxer?
Yes. I love Muhammad Ali.
That's such a common answer.
I know it is, but it's because
you know what?
It's because he is the GOAT.
Mm.
Like, people would fake being knocked out because of how scared they were of him. But that iconic picture where he's, like, screaming at the dude, it's not because the dude's knocked out, it's because the dude is faking it, and he's like, get up. Let me beat you up.
So, I'm going to ask you first to rank your favorite boxers in each weight division, and then, like, your top 5.
In each weight division?
And then,
I
like,
don't know enough boxers.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, like, build your own boxer. Or I guess build your own MMA UFC fighter.
I only know, like, some of the famous boxers. Like, I know, like, there's some that are niche, like Prickard Clone that I was really big on. But I'm not as, like, I was never as big in the, like, professional boxing world as I was just the sport of it. So I don't know if I could do all that you're asking me to do.
Well, I might throw some names you might know, and we'll see what you think. Mm-hmm. But that is, you have to know about them. So. Yeah.
Well, I'm familiar with, like, some of the big ones and then some niche ones.
I'll give you time to think. I'd say, let's see, I'm going to skip the weight division part. Within my, like, top 5 boxers, like, not ranked, but, like, as much as I like them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have either Vidal Riley or Mark Castro. They're not big names yet.
1 and 2?
I don't know which one's 1.
But they're 1 and 2.
I'm going to put Mark as 1.
Okay.
Vidal Riley is going to go 2. These aren't names that people know yet, but they will.
Flame him in the comments, please.
Flame me in the comments. Comments are turned off for podcasts, so.
Oh, okay.
It's not an option.
Flame him in your head.
Flame me in my head. I like Ryan Garcia, but I like the hype around Gervonta Davis more. So I'm gonna throw Gervonta
I've
Davis
heard
in
those
there.
two. Doesn't Ryan Garcia the kind of like smaller one that
Yes,
you want to think
yeah.
would be a boxer?
But he's impressive. I really like Ryan Garcia.
I haven't
Okay.
seen any of the fights, but I've heard he's really good.
That
Yeah.
fight against Ryan Garcia was good. There was a lot of whys in that because everyone's like, "Oh, Gervonta's gonna destroy this kid." Like, if Gervonta's such a good boxer, why did he weight drain Ryan? Why did he put a rehydration clause? And why did he have a mole in his camp? But that's besides the point. I think Gervonta's my number 3. 4, I'm gonna leave Canelo out because he's just on another level.
No.
Yes.
Okay, well he's not getting left out of my ranking. All I'm saying.
I love Canelo. Okay, you know what? Canelo, Mark Castro, since they've actually met each other.
Okay.
Vidal Riley, Gervonta Davis. I would say I like Jose Benavidez.
Logan Paul.
Oh,
Dude, you stole my joke. I was gonna
we'll
say
move
what.
to influencer
What about
boxing.
Jake Paul? No, we
That's
don't
not
even need
even
to
funny.
talk about influencers, bro. There's only one. It's kind of good, KSI, but still,
Ben
they don't even
Askren.
they don't even deserve to be in the conversation. I
All
don't
right.
think.
And my number 5, I like Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford's got some good energy. I like him.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little stingy on his whole career though. He tweeted, he was like, "I might just do one more fight because y'all don't you guys don't appreciate greatness when you see it."
Mm-hmm.
So,
For me, what makes a fighter for me is not just their fighting. Like, because if it was their fighting, like Izzy would be up there, and do not like Izzy. And for MMA, for me, it's their story. So my top 5 is not as based on fighting. It's more of like the person behind it as well. But for me, Muhammad Ali, 1. Then 2, it's hard, but Mike Tyson probably. It's just, I know I'm giving generic answers, but Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson are like great. Canelo's gonna be 3 because Canelo's a goat. And then Prickard Cologne. I don't know if everyone's heard of him, but he was the dude who became a vegetable during the fight from rabbit punches. And I check up on that dude every couple months, like on Google. I don't know him, but on Google to see like how his condition is, because I just pray that a miracle happens and somehow he gets out of it. And then Ryan Garcia. I really love Ryan Garcia. So that's my top 5.
I'd say, you know what? I think I'm gonna have to remove one of my top 5 because I just thought of another one. What's his name? I already forgot his name. I had it in my head and it's gone. It's not Amir Khan. I do like Amir Khan, but he's retired.
Mm-hmm.
Deontay Wilder.
Oh yeah,
That's my boy right there.
he's great.
Like, dude, he's a menace. If I have to re-rank them, I'm gonna be honest. Like, not in skill wise, obviously, but just in my favorite, Deontay's 1.
Mm-hmm.
Canelo. Nah, I'm gonna put Vidal Riley as 2. No, Mark Castro's 2. Vidal 3.
Mm-hmm.
Canelo and Gervonta.
Yeah.
Terrence is up there, but he's not in the top 5. I like him. I've studied him, and I think you've seen me maybe utilize that
Yeah.
a little bit
A little bit.
because we do our own boxing. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah. So now
so
let's hear his top 5.
If you
Do
can't do
know
boxing,
enough?
I don't even know enough, but I do know my number 1,
Who?
Mike Tyson.
Good answer.
One of the only boxers I know, but I respect him because he's just like scary.
Yes, he is.
Like he is so scary.
but he's like so down to earth too. He's
exactly.
such a good guy.
And have you heard his the pigeon story from when he was a kid?
Yeah, these kids like killed his pigeon, and then he like
Yeah,
that's what made him want to just kill people.
Mm-hmm. Made him a fighter.
Dude, imagine if he was trained in MMA.
It'd be bad.
He took up boxing, and the thing about boxing is like, that's more of like a strategic game. It's like, if you do this, you're gonna get hit with that. Like, you gotta be really careful. There's so many rules. In MMA, I really like MMA more than boxing because you can just be creative. You can put more of your own style into it. But like, if Mike Tyson did MMA, dude,
it'd be over.
he'd be like
A beast.
He probably would actually kill people.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had no doubt in my mind that, dude, that's just scary.
It
That's
is
so
scary.
scary, dude.
Mm-hmm. His fear factor is what makes like him push. But for me, Ali, like his speed, it's just insane. With how big of a dude that he was, the head movement he could do It's crazy. Have you seen the videos of like
Mhm,
when
yeah.
he could weave? He was. I
Fly
love
like
Ali,
a
bro.
butterfly, sting like a bee.
Exactly. So do you know like 5 boxers, or even if you don't know all of them, where you could do a top 5 out of the ones you know?
I mean, I probably know 5.
All right. So
Mike
let's hear it.
Tyson, Muhammad Ali.
Mhm. This is your ranking, or just you
Canelo.
naming 5?
I'm just naming 5. Ryan Garcia, we talked about him.
Mm-hmm.
And
Boy,
I'm not even gonna lie.
He's gonna do
That's
3.
all I really know.
All right, that's fine.
All right.
I'm about to spark an argument, and we can't let it get heated, but you might get angry.
Okay.
Deontay Wilder hits harder than Mike Tyson.
I completely.
I don't know him, but that is a stretch. Just
I disagree.
I think.
I know him, and I
but
disagree.
I feel like that's just a fact at this point.
I don't think
am I
it
allowed
is.
to pull up a picture of this dude on my phone?
I mean, go ahead while we're talking.
Because I'm pretty sure it's a fact in boxing that Deontay hits harder. He told Mike Tyson, and I don't think Mike Tyson really contested that.
Because Mike Tyson's humble. He also told Muhammad Ali, because Muhammad Ali said, you would beat me in a fight. Mike Tyson said, no, you would beat me. Mike Tyson's always been humble and on earth. That's why everyone loves him. So he's not really going to contest that. It's just like, it's the type of guy that he is. So I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily agree.
But that's the thing.
I don't think many people can hit harder than Mike Tyson, dude.
He's just Deontay. He had 42 fights,
Mhm.
42 knockouts, and then you have to. I'm gonna throw some factors in there. What's the?
No, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's my boy. But
He's not hitting harder than Mike
that's
Tyson,
your
though,
opinion.
dude.
Okay,
In my opinion, he doesn't.
All right.
And I respect yours. I'm not mad. I'm just saying
So,
I don't.
I'm gonna
I
throw-
don't agree.
I'm gonna throw factors in there, right? So
Mhm.
42 wins, 42 consecutive knockouts. Okay, so he knocked down one of his opponents. I think it was Stavern. He hit his glove and knocked him down with it. You good? Sure.
Yeah, no, I'm laughing at some.
Yeah. So Deontay Wilder hit his opponent's glove and knocked him down.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was round 1, dude. Like he stood in front of his opponent, and his opponent did not want to move forward because he was scared. So
Mhm.
he threw like
Same with Mike
punches are
Tyson,
so
dude.
telegraphed.
What weight division is he?
Heavyweight.
Dude,
He's also a heavyweight?
you can't. The same thing with Mike Tyson, bro. Everyone fears Mike Tyson. People wouldn't take fights with him because of how afraid they were of him. Same thing as only like the fear factor was so big with Mike Tyson. It's insane. It doesn't compare, in my opinion. It doesn't compare.
I'm not saying he beats Mike Tyson in a fight. I'm just saying he hits harder.
I don't think he does.
Because here's the thing. I think Tyson Fury. He said he jabbed. He got jabbed by Deontay, about broke his hand. So he was like, it was like, and that was with his left. It was like, I can't imagine what the right's gonna feel like.
Mhm.
And if
That's Tommy Fury, dude. If Mike Tyson.
wait,
would
did I
do
say
this-
Tommy?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I said Tyson Fury. My
Oh,
fault.
I thought.
I
you
probably said Tommy,
You
but-
might have. I don't know.
I meant Tyson.
I was about to say, why are we taking Tommy Fury's word for it?
I mean, it's crazy because Tyson has like such a good chin because Deontay Wilder hits so hard. He knocked him
But
down.
you don't think Mike Tyson would do the same thing?
Probably. I do have a very, very heated opinion, but I'm not gonna say
Just say it.
because it's gonna be a war.
Then
No.
Just say it and we can
No.
move on. Well, I wanna, let's
No.
hear it. We'll argue it for like a little bit.
Let's
We can
spice
move on.
things
Let's
up.
spice things
No.
up. Come on. I said Sean Strickland's my favorite MMA fighter. Some people don't even like
But
consider
that's
him
not a
the GOAT.
debate.
Yeah, but like
You don't hear us
it is,
contesting.
it is a debate because
some people would be like, why would he be your favorite? Why would you even consider him a GOAT? Because I consider him a GOAT, and others don't.
Well,
And I
that's-
can defend why I think he's a GOAT,
Mhm.
but and others don't, and that's a debate right there, and that's a hot take. It is because not everyone thinks that. Some people think he didn't even deserve the belt. So
Well, so we'll end it. I think Deontay hits harder. You think Mike hits harder. We'll end it there.
no,
before
what's
it
your
gets-
hot take?
No. I'm talking about Deontay and
Oh yeah.
Mike.
No, what's your hot take?
No, you're gonna jump over this table and kill me.
He's gonna say something about Ali. Just say it.
No, it's not gonna be all.
Okay, then what is it?
Tyson Fury could potentially beat Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
in a
that's
fight.
gonna infuriate me. That's like a fun debate.
Because okay, that's the thing. They're both humble. Because
Mhm.
Tyson was like, "I wouldn't last 10 seconds with you," and Mike was like, "That's nonsense."
Mhm.
I think for someone like Tyson Fury to be knocked out by Deontay Wilder and get back up looking perfectly fine,
is an insane feat.
considering it's Deontay Wilder,
Mhm.
you know, he was knocked down several times and he got back up and he knocked Deontay out.
But Mike Tyson, bro.
But Mike Tyson,
Iron Mike Tyson.
maybe that's the thing. So Tyson would have the height and the reach advantage, and obviously he's got power. Maybe he doesn't hit as hard as Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Mike over Deontay. Deontay, the only issue is that he's not really technical. He doesn't have good like fundamentals. He's just a really hard puncher. I mean, look at his telegraph punches. He still knocks everyone out, but that's probably why I lost to Tyson. Not just because of the chin that Tyson had, but because he wasn't as technical.
Yeah.
You know, like the same thing happened with Joseph Parker. When he fought him, he lost by decision. Because I mean, also he thinks because he lost his killer instinct. You know, he says like, I'm 2 at peace. So he's like,
He's getting ready.
He's about to fight me. Nah. I think Tyson Fury could last in a fight with Mike and maybe beat him, but
I don't think he could beat him. I do agree. I think he could last, and I think it would be a very good fight. But I think Mike would win.
The thing I like about Tyson Fury is that he proves you don't need muscle to win. Because like homie is not. He doesn't look. He's in shape. He's just not aesthetically in shape. You know.
Yeah.
But you know he's. It's like when Andy Ruiz fought Anthony Joshua. You know, Anthony Joshua looked like he was sculpted. You know, into like a perfect athletic body, and Ruiz was he was worse than Tyson Fury, and Andy Ruiz knocked him out.
I mean, if you think about it, though, like, there's a lot of stuff that factors into the fight that's not just in the fight. Like, there's a lot of outside factors that would go into it, like intimidation. I bet he'd be crying himself asleep, like, every night if he were to, like, knowing he was going to get into the ring with Tyson, because he's scared. He'd probably like mentally break him. He'd be like, I mean, you see MMA fighters, they talk all the smack, and then when they go in there, they're like shaking, they're crumbling, they're not their best.
Yeah. And I think if prime Mike Tyson, would walk through that door with the brass knuckles on, punch us in the face, I think there's a chance one of us might die. So
yeah,
no brass knuckles needed. He just punched us.
Yeah, like I'm like Mike Tyson, one of the only men who could kill someone with one punch. Like, bro could literally be a one punch man.
I remember Deontay thought he killed one of his opponents. I wouldn't be surprised if he did, because he may not be the hardest puncher in history. I'm gonna throw Mike Tyson out because we already talked about that. George Foreman might have it up on him. I think George Foreman has Deontay Wilder beat.
I can see where you're coming from. Do you know George Foreman? He had a movie like last year. It's pretty good, actually.
Bro had beef with the bags. But what was I gonna say? You were talking about every factor outside the fight. You know, there's weight, hydration, the mind games.
The thing is with fighting that so many people don't take into account. I'm not gonna name names, but some of my friends, when we get in arguments, don't think the mental's that big. But a mental's a huge thing, and a big reason that Sean Strickland, to go back to my goat, beat Izzy is because he got in his head. He destroyed him in mental games. In that press conference, he called out everything he did and did not care. It made everyone upset. Dana White was upset because that was his cash cow. Everyone was mad that he called out Izzy because Izzy was like the GOAT, and he exposed him for all the horrible things Izzy's done. And Izzy's mind games, he was messed up. The last 30 seconds of the 5th round, he gave up against Strickland. He was just moving away. Like, he knew he lost, and he gave up. He wasn't even trying because he knew that if he got Strickland and he took him out and he made him submit, that he could have won the match. He didn't even try. Like, Izzy was so mentally messed up. And I think that shows, like, a feat for Strickland, and that shows how important a mental game is, because it would have been a much closer fight with Izzy's head in the game. Because Izzy's a great fighter, and I will not dog him for that. If his head was in the game, it would have been a much, like, more clear, like, okay, maybe Strickland didn't clearly win or something. It could have been a much closer fight. So, yeah.
Even bigger example for the mind games, Conor McGregor versus Jose Aldo.
Yeah.
He was like crumbling up. Like, the stuff Conor was saying just made Jose Aldo so like scared and like
don't want the smoke.
You could see he was so intimidated by him. Like, the weeks leading up to the fight, Jose Aldo was like he did not want to fight him, but he had to.
That championship bout, or am I wrong?
It was, I think it was for the belt.
I'm pretty sure it was. Like, it's been a minute. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, it was for the belt. Yeah.
What UFC card was that? Do you remember?
I don't remember that, but
because I saw them. It was talking about how good of a fighter Conor McGregor is. Like, he fought all these people just to get a title shot with Jose. Didn't he knock him out like the first round or something?
13 seconds.
13 seconds.
Yeah.
Like Conor McGregor was saying, like they went up for the face off, and like he was like cursing at him in his own like language. And you could see his like he said Conor McGregor was like, I saw his little lip quivering and like his right hand twitching, and then he threw the right hand. First couple seconds of the fight, Conor knew it was coming. Countered, knocked out. 13 seconds.
So, like we did for boxing, how about we all say our top 5 UFC
I'm
fighters?
not a UFC guy.
You don't
Based
know?
on person, I'll do it based on like personality.
The people you know, like 5 people that you would rank. I'll go first so you can think about it.
Yeah.
All right, so Strickland 1. Now, it's hard for me to come up with my tier 3, but I'm going to probably have to say El Kukui for 2. It's like close between the third, though, and Conor McGregor for 3. And then 4, I know he's not as big, but Sean O'Malley. I really like O'Malley a lot. And then 5, see, it's hard because I want to include everyone, but I'm going to probably say Alex Pereira. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So, how about you?
El Kukui.
Mm-hmm.
Personality too. He was scary. He was good at trash talking.
Bro was jumping up and down, covered in blood, bro. Dude.
Like he was so unusual. Like his training was so unusual.
Mm-hmm.
Like he'd
Bro
be
didn't
like
drink water.
he'd be like balancing on like a ball, like lifting weights upside down. Like it was the weirdest stuff. But he didn't believe in sparring. He went in and just destroyed everyone.
Just destroyed everyone. Bro just didn't want to quit.
So yeah, that's my number 1, El Kukui. Named him the boogeyman for a reason. Number 2, if we're factoring in personality, Conor McGregor. He's a great fighter, great personality, great trash talker.
Made the UFC famous. We like it wouldn't.
He completely changed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Changed the game.
Number 3, John Jones.
That's a good one.
He's a John Jones. Like he trained MMA for like 2 or 3 months. And got in the UFC and then just continued to just destroy everyone. Like, he was destroying people that had been training MMA all their lives. He'd go in just like, he's never lost a fight. He lost one, and it was an accidental rule break because he didn't even know all the rules. He was that new. Like, he's awesome. He's such a great fighter. Number 4, this is where it gets tricky because there's so many good fighters. There's so many good fighters.
Exactly, because you want to include so many people, but you only have 5 spots.
Yeah, you only got 5. Those are definitely my top 3. That's a good top 3 for me. But I don't want to leave anyone out either. I'm trying to think of everyone so I can decide.
While he's thinking, do you have yours made up yet?
I don't. Like I said, I'm more of a boxing guy, so I'll go on names, strictly on names. I like Khabib because he doesn't talk trash, dude. You don't like Khabib?
It's not that both of us agree on this.
Listen here.
It's not that we.
I'll stop right there.
No, I don't know about him.
Let me just give you my reasoning for that.
Uh-oh.
He has a perfect record. He has no personality. He probably would be trash talking if he could speak English better. He has no personality. He's a boring fighter. He's the same technique, and it works. I'll give him that. His wrestling is top tier, and it works. But like, there's nothing interesting about him. The only like reason he's that big is probably because he fought Conor McGregor
And won. For me, it's like, I like Khabib. I'm not gonna dog him. He's like, he has an insane record. The fact that he's never lost and never bled, that's crazy. That he hasn't done either of those things. He's insane. I just think that he's a little overrated because he only fought 3 ranked fighters. And he kind of I think he kind of picked his fights a little carefully so he could have that clean of a record. And I think if he put himself out there and fought more ranked fighters, he wouldn't have a perfect record. So that's my reason for thinking he's a little overrated because he never takes risky fights. And that's for me my reason where he's not up there for me. I still think he's a great fighter and he's done great things for the sport. and he is still someone who should be commended for what he's done. But I just don't think he's as top tier as others for me. So yeah, but I can respect why he's there because every reason that you can give, I also agree with because he has insane feats. So yeah,
I just like humble fighters, you know, who can like they don't have to talk necessarily to sell a fight, even though that's a big part of it.
Volk isn't a big trash talker.
Yeah,
but
and I love Volk. I do.
And then like their performance makes up for it.
Yeah, Volk is extremely good, and he's also. That's another reason why I kind of don't like. I'm not gonna include him in my top 5 is because he's an amazing fighter, but like who doesn't like a dude that can trash talk? You know,
It's like personality, you know.
Yeah,
And just what they bring to the table.
Because it's not only selling a fight, you know. Sometimes people will like think that fighter's more interesting because when there's a press conference between two fighters, whoever's talking more is the more interesting one. That's what everyone's gonna have their eyes on.
Yeah,
Sean Strickland.
and is he?
He's great at that.
Exactly.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah,
That's a
McGregor.
perfect example. He can talk, and he can.
And
also
that's what
back
put
it up.
UFC on the map is talking. And his fighting was great, but what he said is what people were like, yo, let's look at this dude. It put eyes on him. And put eyes on the UFC because of how great of a trash talker Conor was. I mean, he was like insane. So yeah, anyways, sorry to interrupt considering your top 5.
Just know I'm not even ranking them like a 1, 2, 3. I'm just putting names out there.
All right.
So Khabib, Izzy's cool. I like Izzy.
Do you know about Izzy?
I mean, I just think he has a funny personality. He's a good striker.
We might need to let you know some things we can't say on camera later.
He's about the fire on me. I know what you're talking about, but
Okay.
that's not important.
It kind of is.
Well, it's not good for YouTube.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
This is not
Let's-
going on the
let's-
podcast.
Let's move on.
Tony Ferguson.
Okay, good.
Just because it's a dude. Like you said, jumping up and down with
Well,
blood.
with blood all over him, bro, was like ready.
He's locked in.
Crazy,
like
bro.
he'd be covered in other people's blood,
And just
and like the thing
jumping
that
up
was
and down
scary about
smiling,
him
bro. That's terrifying.
is like he was so unorthodox. You never knew what he was gonna do. You could punch him, he'd be like about to get knocked out, like he's on the verge. He starts doing barrel rolls, like you've never seen that before. Like, like his style's so weird.
Exactly.
And it works. And his cardio was insane. All 5 rounds going at the same pace from round 1 to 5.
Exactly. And I know
He was
everyone's
great.
saying he's washed, but I also disagree with that. I think that with the Patty fight, he just ran out of time because he's used to fighting 5 rounds.
Yeah.
I think if he had 5 rounds with Patty, it would have been different because the 3rd round was El Cucuy's round. And you could see that Patty was shaking. He didn't want to get in. He wanted to just lay on him and prevent him from being able to do moves and stuff like that. And even Patty said afterwards, he humbled him because before he was talking trash, Patty's like, anyone telling this man he needs to retire does not know what they're talking about. That fight going against an older El Cucuy still humbled him, and I think El Cucuy still has it in him. He just got unlucky with his fights, with having that losing streak. I think he truly could have won against Patty if it was 5 rounds.
Yeah. And that's another problem with just like the UFC in general. Like you put all these great fighters on the main card,
They only
and
get
you
3
make them
rounds.
fight 3 rounds, and it's so short. Like if you are paying that much to see your favorite fighters, you want to see as much as that fighter as possible. And yeah, if it was 3 rounds, Patty was gassed after the first round, so he would lay on Tony. Tony's never been that good at getting up. He'd be focused on trying to like cut him up with elbows on the ground. But he just laid on him for all 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And you could tell, like, I think at the end of the 2nd round, no, it was the end of the 3rd. Like they ended the round on the ground, and he was so gassed he almost couldn't stand up.
He was gassed out.
And like the last minute, he also almost got put in a
Yeah,
guillotine.
El Cucuy almost like got him that last 3rd round. Like I remember James was freaking out about it. He's like, yes, please. But yeah, it was just disappointing. And I think a recent proof of how 5 rounds really does matter. I think Strickland got robbed against Duplessis, and if it was 3 rounds, Strickland would have won because that 4th round with Duplessis is what made the difference. Where they could argue that Duplessis did win when I don't think he did. So if El Kukui had 5 rounds, I think it would have been a very different outcome. So yeah, those last 2 make a big difference when people don't think they do, but it really does. So yeah.
So I don't really know much about UFC, but I'm gonna throw George St. Pierre in there, GSP. So
Yeah, he's a very humble guy.
So I said Tony Ferguson, Khabib. I said Izzy, and I just said GSP. So if we're going for 5, hope this mic's picking up my voice because I'm leaning back. So audio guy, I'm good. All right. Let's move in. I'm not gonna throw Conor McGregor because I feel like that's just a given. So
yeah.
Instead of him, I'll throw Ngannou in there.
Okay.
Ngannou.
Have you come up with your final 2 placements?
I wasn't even thinking about it, I'm gonna be honest. I was way too invested into that. Yeah, that's another thing I like about MMA more than boxing is with boxing it's only stand up. There's not a lot of clinch fighting that's legal. And in MMA you get to show your personality a lot more, your creativity. Tony Ferguson's a great example of that. He didn't spar. Yeah. He went in just doing whatever he could using his personality, doing jumping off the cage to punch someone
and Alex Pereira, some of them he showed his creativity in his fighting as well, and just shines with UFC.
Yeah, there's a lot of creativity, and that's what makes fighters special. That's what makes them all unique, is because they all have you don't choose your style chooses you. So if you get a good person to fight and he has that style, it just it attracts you and you're like, that's awesome.
That's really cool.
That's awesome.
So I want to ask, between boxing and MMA, so MMA fighters have gone over to boxing. So you have Ben Askren, Ngannou, and Nate Diaz. What's his face? Anderson Silva. And so people always argue, they're like, okay, if they're going over to boxing, why don't boxers go over to MMA? And
they die.
I think that's stupid because not only is it more risk, more work, and I think less pay, because the boxing is more bigger than the UFC. I think UFC. Nah, you know what? I'm gonna stop that because I don't even know what's going with that.
UFC's getting pretty big.
Yeah, UFC's getting huge now. It's getting a lot bigger than it was.
I just think, like I said, there's just a lot more fundamentals you got to put in the UFC, and there's a lot more risk. So stick with what you know, because with UFC fighters, they have that technical, readiness when they go into boxing. That's how Ngannou did so well against Tyson. Yeah. Or Gabriel Silva did so well against, well, I wouldn't say so well, but he gave Jake Paul a war. You know? And then you have Nate Diaz. Jake Paul couldn't even knock him out. But I'm not going to keep talking about Jake Paul because
it's Jake Paul.
He's not my guy. Yeah. I am starting to respect his work ethic. As a person, he can just be a little annoying. But as a boxer, there are some things I can, like I said, I like his work ethic. But I don't like his excuses, because he would fight old MMA fighters and call himself a boxer when they gave him war.
All washed MMA.
And he won't even fight boxers. He meticulously chooses his fights. That's the thing for me that it really upsets me. And I wish Nate Diaz took the fight more seriously, because you can tell by the fight he didn't take that seriously.
I mean, Nate Diaz is mainly a boxer. He's stand up.
Yeah.
And the thing is, with Jake Paul's last opponent, Andre August, I think he was 10-1, but he hadn't fought in 3 years, I think. So during his fight, he got knocked out round 1. It was a clean uppercut, I'll give you that. But the fact that he was calling out Terrence Crawford, and he was like, y'all tell me to fight a real boxer, but when I'm fighting Andre August, you still want to argue. So he was going through professional boxers in their career. Okay, this person fought this guy. So if they did that, you can't talk bad on my name. But I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted on him. Yeah.
And I think we're cutting it close on time, so I think we should probably say what got us into the sport. And what time is it?
10:45.
10:45. Oh, I thought it was. I looked at his.
I think we can keep going.
Yeah, we can keep going. Then I thought it was 11:06. I read the clock wrong.
So that's my take on that. UFC and boxing going into each other. So moving away from professionalism, what exactly got you guys into combat sports? Because for me, I always found it entertaining, you know. It's crazy to look at two guys hitting each other in the head or kneeing each other in the face, you know, wrestling. But I don't know. It's just when you have two names and you have two different skill sets, who's going to come out on top, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then just it became appealing to me when I first put on gloves in boxing and started fighting my friends, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It was just so fun, dude.
Yeah.
I grew a passion.
It's in our blood.
So, like,
I mean,
anytime someone wants to box, I'm ready. Because it was, like, cold. Remember that one night? It was cold.
And then you were ready.
it was really
and you had
cold.
to go home. But we got to
Yeah.
it. We got to
I
it.
showed up late.
Yeah.
We got to it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to pass up an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
It helps you get better too.
I love boxing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, ever since I was young, like, my dad did wrestling in high school, but, like, dads are usually playful with their kids sometimes, you know? So, like, we would, like, roughhouse, and, like, I don't know what, like, I was just so into, like,
Mm-hmm.
the idea of, this is going to sound, I'm going to kind of word this differently so it doesn't sound bad, but, like, I just loved fighting.
Yeah.
Like, I had, like,
A passion.
I have a passion for it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, because once you're actually fighting, like, you just lose yourself, you know? Like, you put everything aside. You're not worrying about anything else. You're worrying about, like,
Gives
hitting the
you
other
focus.
dude. Like, yeah, with me, I'm just, like, I don't think about anything else. And I just want to, I lose myself. And it's so fun, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I'm an adrenaline junkie. I love stuff that gets me, like,
Pumping.
like want to be bouncing off the walls. And fighting's a great example because a lot of it is fear. You don't want to get punched, so you gotta punch the other dude, and it gets your adrenaline pumping, and it's just so fun.
And once y'all get more into it, it gets more pumping. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about the people I box too, you know? It's like
Mhm.
with James, we had been, like, mouthing each other for such a long time. And when we finally did it,
Mm-hmm.
it was just crazy.
Yeah.
It's like looking at your two favorite people. Not to say I'm your favorite, but I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
these people have not fought each other in forever. It's like Francis Ngannou versus John Jones.
Mhm.
You want them to fight, but it's not going to happen. But if it were to happen, in our case, it did. It was like, wow, that's you know, it finally happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, what got you into combat?
So for me, since a kid, like I'll never forget, my dad showed me Rocky 4. It was like my first Rocky movie, and I wasn't wanting to do fighting like after watching the movie, but I was like, that is like so cool. Like that movie, I was just like, that's awesome. Still one of my favorite movies, even though I know that it's not as well written as others. It's still a great movie, but that didn't give me a passion for it, but it put it on my radar. And then I went to military school, and some older kids would like beat me up a little bit and think that I was like real weak, and I kind of wanted to show them that I wasn't that weak kid that they thought I was. So that really got me into it, where I just started training like crazy. And I had an older cadet at the military school named Michael Gerard, and he would teach me how to fight. And he basically put me under his wing and helped me learn the things he learned. And I just had a passion for it and kept doing it from there, where I got into MMA, wrestling, and boxing. And I just wanted to show people that I wasn't the weak person that they would write me off as in their heads. So that was kind of my spark for it when I first got into it. And lately, though, like, not really lately, it's been a minute now, I kind of lost that because I didn't feel the need to prove myself anymore. So I still have a lot of respect for the sport, but I don't think I would ever really get back into it. I might do the training for it. I would spar my friends. But now I have, like, a mental block where I it's hard for me to, like, go against y'all and stuff like that. Like, I don't think I can actually take it seriously the way that others do, where they're like, they can be friends with someone, but when they're in the ring, it's like they're their enemy, and that's how it is. I can't do that. I can't flip that switch. I used to. I can't anymore.
I'm saying
So yeah,
if we and you ever get to it, you gotta remove it.
I can't.
You gotta remove it.
I literally can't. That's what I'm telling you.
Because here's the thing. Because we do it amongst each other, but we gotta make it more entertaining. Because before we just land punches here. That's not. We gotta start focusing on here.
Yeah.
The thing is that it's dangerous. Like here is more dangerous than here. Here,
Dangerous is fun.
hit the sternum, they're knocked out. Hit here, hospital. Get one good hit, hospital.
Yeah, well, why are we trying to send each other to the hospital?
But that's the thing. It makes for more fun. Because
It's more scary because, you know, if I do get hit here,
Yeah, but I'm not trying to send my friend to the hospital though.
Well, because we don't do
Yeah.
full force. We don't do full force.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I like MMA more than like boxing, because like say I'm like wrestling someone, like this might sound kind of bad, but like as I'm wrestling, I'm always thinking about like I could punch this dude in the face, like like I have him in a position where like I don't like the restrictions. I like to use my creativity. And the restricted type fighting, I just don't like. I like to
be free.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I preferred MMA as well when I did it. It's just when I left military school, there was nowhere I could find it at MMA. So I just got into boxing.
Especially here.
Yeah, and well, I didn't first move here. I was down living in Dallas, Georgia, but there was nowhere down there either. So I just did boxing, and I still had a great passion for it and loved it. So, but for me, it's like, I know you're saying flip the switch, but it's like I can't. That's why I know if I went against you, it wouldn't be as like, oh, Grant would beat me as you think, just because I have the experience. Because I've gone against James, I've gone against him, and it's like I can't flip that switch. I can't like view them as my enemy. It's like that's my homie. Like we were just joking around.
When I say that, it's not hurt me. It's just do what you can. Like try your hardest. You don't have to hurt me. You know.
For me, it's like though when I'm throwing a punch at you, that's the purpose of it. It's supposed to hurt, and I can't get past that.
I understand.
Like I've like used to, I could, but I've just like changed. I've like changed my mindset on things, and it's like I have respect for it. I love watching it, and I would like support any of my friends who did it and give them the advice that I did, and I would love to spar with them. Like even though I know I wouldn't be like at my fullest, most violent. It's just like I can't put myself like let me try my hardest, because it's like that person's my friend. Like I love that dude. I can't I can't put myself in that headspace like others can. And that's just my mental block, and that's my like biggest weakness with fighting. Used to I could because I didn't know the person I was going against, or if I did, I didn't really like the person like at military school. But now it's like I'm going against my friends, and I can't flip
that's what
that
happens
switch.
when I wrestle. Like
So,
if I put them in a submission, I kind of just hold them there because I don't want to like. I know I could, but I kind of hold myself back because it's like I don't want to choke out my friend. Like I'm chill with this dude. I don't want to hurt him.
Yeah.
Because James caught me off guard. We were sparring once, and I didn't know we were doing full power punches. So he hit me here.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, that. I'm not talking bad on his name, or I'm not trying to hype myself. It didn't hurt. It took the wind out of me. Just a little.
Well, James can flip the switch. When I fought James, he did not hold back.
He gets locked in.
Yeah, he gets locked in, because even when we were doing our tag team that we did like the other day, I was like, okay, James, you need to go off to the side and do something. And even when we were like doing just sparring, he like had the switch on, like, and I couldn't get in there because I knew that if I got in there, bro would just like go at me. He's able to flip the switch. I can't. So yeah,
it's just. I've been wanting to do that for forever, you know, because you see me sparring, I kind of I'm patient, because I'm more of a counter puncher and a defensive guy, and I'll feint. That's what I do. I feint, I work on my defense, and what did I just say? I try to counter. The thing is, I need to learn the other I need to utilize the other fundamentals, because when it comes to like, I might fight one friend and do really good with what I do. But against James, it was harder because he fights like KSI and he's all over the place.
Exactly. You can't like telegraph anything he's gonna do. He's so weird.
He's also just really long.
I told him last time we did. I was like, don't try that again. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
Like Grady punches harder than James, but James doesn't punch as hard. But he's like so unpredictable. So if it was like you have 6 months to try and fight Grady or James, I'm taking Grady every day, because at least I can like see what he's throwing at me. With James, it's like I go in for one thing and bro was like prepared for another. He's like O'Malley, dude. He fakes you out. It's crazy, but yeah.
Like his reach is so weird that like you don't think he's gonna hit you from the distance.
But he does.
And then he hits you. And it's like
what? Didn't know this was
like
possible.
Confuse you. Like how did you do that?
So yeah.
We need that rematch, man.
Let's do it.
Said he hits hard. We'll find out. No, but I want to ask you a question, but I don't want to put you in a position where it's like
ask whatever you want.
All right, if you were to rank between everyone you see in box, between me, Jace, Grady, James, HJ. I don't know if you've seen Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
Not.
I haven't really seen Jace either. I've seen like videos, but I haven't like studied.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't studied really any of you.
I'm not saying you have to rank us like, okay, this person's the best, this is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
More so, who has the better fundamentals, who has the better defense, punching, jabbing, footwork,
Mhm.
you know, all of that.
I'm not even gonna lie.
We'll take it as is.
After advice was given, this man really surprised
He
me.
turned it up.
He did, and I'm honestly, I'm gonna have to say he has like really good mix of everything. Cause I was going against him, and it was after I was already like winded, cause he was on my team.
Mhm.
So at the end, we were like, let's go against our partners, just see how we do. So I was already like winded, cause we had been going for like 10 minutes or something. So I was like not trying to get in there, and bro like did a good punch to my side, and I was like, okay, like hold up, and I couldn't get in there at a good part without exposing myself to get hit. So he definitely like he surprised me a lot more than I thought he would, seeing his first fight, because his first fight was not as great, but then once we told him to correct it, he corrected it, and that's gonna make you go far in the fighting world as well, because you fix your mistakes and you learn from them. But defense wise, you're really good too, Eddie. So I'd say defense, you have you're superb at defense. I think you need to work on your offense a little more. I think you're a little scared to get in there.
It's just I want to get in the middle. Like I'm trying to get up close. I'm trying to get in that pocket so I can land these babies.
Yeah.
But the issue with James and Jace is once you get inside, they're just they
Exactly.
they wail on you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's aggressive. So what I need to do is try to get on the inside and I guess back up or change my angle. But
Learn how to weave and dodge, or block.
it'd be so much easier if it was headshots, but you know, a little too dangerous there.
Yep.
That's why I want like you and Luis, because you guys are more experienced. Like I want you guys to watch me so that I can see what I'm doing wrong, especially Jose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I want Jose to watch one day.
Well, I mean, I can watch the video from like a critical perspective. It was more of just a fun thing, but based on just eyeballing it and thinking back, I definitely would say your offense and needs work on, because you seem like hesitant to get in there. Where you're good at defense, but you just seem like you're a little like hesitant to get in there a lot of times. So yeah. Which is why James was able to get you in a corner so much, because he's very offensive, and if you can't like defense that where you can stay not in the corner, he's gonna get you in the corner and well on you.
Yeah.
So that would be my biggest like work on your offense.
And that's how I like being taught. Like, if I'm playing sports and I do something wrong, I want my coach to call me out, because then you don't want to do it again. And I've told you this before. I don't think I've told you, and now I'm telling them. But like I want to be called out, because you don't want to keep doing it, or else like you'd be looked at differently. Like if they're like, never do this. Like say you're playing soccer, if he comes at you, never do this, and you keep doing it, and it keeps like making you mess up. Like what's the point?
Exactly.
But if you get called out, then you're like, I really don't want to do that again. I don't want to get called out anymore. Then you'll fix it, and then it'll make you into like a better player or a better fighter in this case. Like I was on FaceTime that night, and like him and a few other friends were on FaceTime, and they were all like watching the video when I was off the call, and when I joined, we were talking about it, and they all said what was wrong with my performance, and I was like, well, crap, I'm not gonna do that again,
And he did not do it
And I
again.
didn't. And it worked out.
Like I wish you could have been there for the jump that this man had from his first fight to the second. Like I was so surprised, because I was like watching him when we were tag teaming, because he was on my team, but I didn't really realize it until I went against him, and I was like, okay, he's a different boxer now after previous fight. So yeah.
Yeah, because I remember me and you were like sparring, and Luis was watching, and I almost ate the floor, and he called me out immediately. That's always been an issue, because when I was boxing Jace, I almost ate the floor twice, and then when I was sparring him, I almost ate the floor. But since then, that hasn't really happened to me recently, because I corrected it. But moving on, this is gonna be our final topic.
Okay.
Between friends, you can like anyone. You can take in Jace, Andrew. Take us, James, Who do you want to see fight? I'm going to ask you the same thing. I'll say the same thing. Who do you want to see fight against each other?
Like fight each other?
Yeah.
All right, I want to see Grady versus Eddie again, so you can see what I saw, and then I want to see like a long like Grady versus James.
Yeah.
That would be very interesting. And then
body shot only matches, right?
yeah, and then I haven't seen Andrew or Jace, so I can't really speak on them because I don't know how they fight really.
Yeah.
But then I'd say probably HJ and you would be pretty cool too. Like if y'all had a longer drawn out one, and HJ and Grady would be cool because HJ has a lot more power than he realizes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And he
dude.
doesn't use it like he should. And if he
His
did,
uppercuts are nasty.
he would be like, if he were to use his power more, because he uses it, but if he were to like really strengthen that side, he'd be a beast. Like he'd be a very hard person to fight. So yeah, but I think he's a little more defensive than he should be. So that would be HJ, when you watch this, that's some advice to you. But you and HJ would be cool, and you and HJ would be cool. So yeah.
Yeah. So between me, I would say him versus Jace because they're both patient.
Yeah.
But you said he changed, so I gotta change that opinion.
Yeah, I'm not as patient.
He's not. No, he's not.
It depends on the person I'm fighting.
I'm different.
Like if I see them like putting up Philly shell too much, and I'm gonna try to get them out of it and punch them more.
I wonder who he could be calling out here.
I wonder who's the big Philly shell guy.
I wonder.
No, but that's just like anyone. I fight according to their style.
You gotta adapt to their style, and that's the best kind of fighter when you can adapt and change up your fighting style based on how the other person's fighting.
That's why I switch stances a lot, because I throw them off, and I'm also just like.
Because you can't telegraph, like you can't get used to what the person's doing when you do that,
Yeah.
or it's harder to at least.
I love switching between southpaw and orthodox. It throws them off. Yeah. Once I shell up, I got that either that left or that right ready. So. Watch out, yo. But yeah, him. You said he changed, so that gives me a lot of hype. Between who I want to see is Jared Weatherford versus James because they're both tall and they're both long.
That would be cool. Jared versus him would be cool too. I would like to see that.
I don't even know who Jared is.
I don't know Jared super well, but I know I've seen some of his clips and he does seem like he's talented enough.
Yeah. I think his training more so comes from MMA too. So if not boxing, y'all could tussle.
Y'all could tussle.
That would be awesome.
But I really want to see is you and Luis though. That's what I want to see.
I want to fight.
See, Luis is currently fighting, so I know he's gonna beat me. But that would just still be fun.
That's the thing. Me and Luis have sparred. Obviously, since he's more active than me, or he goes to the gym, I know he takes it easy on me. If he wanted to hurt me, he would. But yeah, I want to see him fight rather than just to spar.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Well, I think that's about all the time we have. So, thank you for tuning in. It's been a great talk about combat sports.
Yes, it has.
Should we think about anything else, we might have a part 2. Maybe.
Might have someone else in here who is experienced with it next time. So yeah.
Hopefully James.
Or
HJ.
Yeah.
I hope you didn't mistake my personality for arrogant. That's just my character, and I'm trying to add some entertainment to it. When I did that, you're not light work. You're not light work. You're not light work. I've been your host, Eddie, joined by my guests,
Grant Garrett,
Grady Smith,
and I guess that's a wrap. So thank you for joining the Preferred Podcast.